Good middle of the day, exactly high noon to everybody out there. Normally I like to say top or bottom of the morning, but we have missed the morning. I was changing some settings over here in the stream. We're going to see how this sounds. We got a little bit of an improvement on the microphone, I hope. I'll find out later. This is our Saturday accountability session. This is a second week I'm doing this. This started last Saturday after a disastrous day of trading Friday. Let's see if I can pull up some of that fun stuff we made last Saturday. Get to. Yeah, and we are building this as we go here. Like I used it for. It's not. Probably just in the 5 because it's your document. There it is. Hey, on one. Well. Well, I guess that handwritten. Oh, yeah, let me turn this on for you guys. You can actually see what I'm clicking on. Nothing. There it is. All right. This was our app from last set. Not a great week that had wrapped up. Actually, it was a pretty stellar week of trade. All that I funded accounts ready for payout. This was on Friday, the 19th, I guess? Yeah, that's our 20th. Blue, 7,200. Plus a few other fundeds that didn't have anything in them. And then multiple evals. Actually, so we'll just. Because that got blown on Sunday night. These are the payouts lost. That hurt a lot. Those are 1677 payouts. Now, this is the important thing I wanted to talk about. I was definitely feeling greedy. I was sizing up. I was already in profits. Impatient. So I was trying to find the bottom after we found some kind of news to lift the market. I knew that it was coming, and we're going to talk about that in just a little reckless without trading stop losses. This is a thing that I've done in the past, and it's a thing that I did again last week. We're going to talk about how part of that is being a bad loser and losing it all on an OPEX Friday on ShopEx. That would hurt especially. So this is what I went into the week with. This is a great place to start. 2 top step combines became 2 funded FAs. Passed those between Friday and then again on Monday. The Lucid Eval, it became funded. TPT, it got to day 4, blown with 180 away. That was part of my day yesterday. That actually happened off stream. I had forgotten that I had not traded my TPT. I just needed to flip it. Flipped it for about $20, and then I said, you know what? I think we found the bottom. I think I'm just gonna pass it right now, and then kablooey, not found the bottom. Let me put some charts up for you to talk about how, because it was actually not even yesterday that was a problem. It was not a Friday losing spree like previous week. It was a Thursday losing spree. These ended up going. Worse, that one also. But then there's going to be more. Don't worry. I did much more damage than. Bang. Okay. Let's do what do we got here? Up in here. Let's do this. Speaking of, we might be getting into our some Photoshop fun today. Times. All right. No. 8th March, Saturday. How do we do this week? Into some feelings. This is all payouts lost. Now, fortunately / unfortunately, this past week we did not get anywhere close to payouts. Got a little bit close to payouts. Let's go see what we got up to. But basically, this week was just evals blown, a couple of fundeds blown off those top steps. Okay. Let's pull up my top step. Actually, you know what? First, before we get really into all the damage that was done, let's look at the charts. Let's look at the charts. Stop. There we go. We're going to use this to be sort of a journal, keep track of the feelings and the recollections of the week we had. This would be probably a pretty good practice at the end of every day. Eventually. And where we were this week, exclusively trading the NQ. Two big stories: VIX and oil. So here in our charts, left we have NQ on the 30-minute. Zoom it back so you can really see the week that was. Here, Friday, the fateful day, $7,000 in funded. Bottom, which did not appear, spent all day on stream trying to find bottom, trying to find it. That was kind of an interesting situation because, see, we actually went almost up back to the range from that 330 bounce. That was a 300-point bounce off of the lows on that Friday. Now, we had lots of bad news all over that weekend. War with Iran. We've got things blowing up. Israel's blowing things up. It's chaos in the Middle East, and that never spells good news for the markets. In fact, you want to just take a little bit of a zoom back at where we've been since late February. Market is pretty mad, pretty grumpy at this whole situation. Iran started like here-ish, late February, and then since then it's been oh no, and no mystery why it's been really difficult trading. Look at this. It's not been a straight ride down. It's been wicks in every single day in both directions. It means that we dump and recover or bounce and then dump, and then we end up in the middle. And that means that everybody loses, except maybe for this. Let's get into it. Okay, now the pattern that we have been seeing, go back to the daily. One more thing that I want to point out. See sort of a repeating pattern that's happening here. We go up, but nope. Up, but nope. Up, but nope. Up, but nope. This is on the daily. So check out how these days work out. This is back to December. We're going to go to January. Yeah, this is when the pattern really began. On Christmas. Up, and then Christmas Eve, the half day, I believe, day after Christmas, topped, sold off. What was that day after Christmas? That was a Friday, and then this Monday we sold off. This is a week sell off. Now we bottomed here on what looks to be Friday. Tuesday. On Wednesday to new highs breaking out of the range. Rejected back down. Thursday, Friday tried, didn't quite make it. Following Monday, up, new high. Tuesday, bouncing, new high. I believe this is also off a gap down Sunday night. This Friday to Monday. Boom, up. Tuesday up a little higher. Wednesday did not make a new high, but then dumped. Thursday tried to make a new high, that dumped. Friday tried to make a high. Monday, holiday, Martin Luther King Day. Tuesday, straight down, a little bit of a recovery. Wednesday, new high. Thursday, new high. Friday, new high. A nice week of pump here to end January. Next Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, new high. Thursday could not break the high. Down. Now Monday, again, gap down. Monday, recover. Tuesday, new high. Wednesday, dump. No follow through on this move. Nothing propelling us back to the high. Every time we try, we get stuffed. See what happened the following week. This is now Wednesday, Thursday. Friday had a good recovery. I think we had probably had a Trump tweet around here. We're going to talk about how that impacts the market. To Monday to Tuesday, new high. Wednesday, dump. Thursday, Friday. A recovery the following week. This is a Tuesday, a little low, but then we got Wednesday high, dumps Thursday. Friday cannot beat Wednesday's high, dumps. Monday, low, but we bounced up Tuesday, new high on Wednesday. Thursday could not break Wednesday's high. Down we go. Friday couldn't even break the prior week highs. Down we go. Now here's more interestingness. This is now into early February, late February. We find flat markets. No new lows. I feel like a baby one here. Highs. No, this is flat market all the way into Monday the 9th. Big gap down all the way. I remember this was at the 6 a.m. 24,000 test. Monday, March 9th. Again. Night gap down. All the way down. You can even see where I've marked this on the chart. All the way down here. 9 p.m. on the 8th. All the way to 10:30, and then we're starting a bounce off 1,000. Started at 9:30ish p.m. Sunday night. This is only affecting futures bounced from 24 under 24K. This is 470. Prior support, I believe, back. Ah ha ha! Back in November. In the overnight. Ninth, followed by from 9:30. That's a 250 point bounce. 30 until following Tuesday. Now, the theme that we were talking about. Tuesday tried to here Monday high, sorry, Monday high, Tuesday higher high, Wednesday could not break Tuesday's high. Down we went. Let's here off the 200 EMA daily. Gapped up now from Monday night on the 16th, Tuesday on the 17th, Wednesday made a higher high, could not hold it the week. Thursday, gap down. Friday, tested it, gap, flew down. Hit the same level again. Remember our double yellows here from Monday. Hit it again Friday. This is the bottom we were trying to find. Friday. Now, where the dipped under the support briefly. Friday's bottom. Couldn't hold it in the overnight. This is Sunday night. So Sunday, we're looking right at the open. Gapped way down at the open. Filled the gap. Struggled with the gap. Rest of the night. Couldn't overcome it until, a little something happened about 7:05 a.m. Monday morning. I remember I was feeding my dogs. I was definitely not sitting at the desk trading, as so were not a lot of other people, because Trump tweeted some kind of peace bullshit Iran to fly up 885 points in 1 minute. We can see the 1 minute. It was stunning to witness. And it was just algorithmic-ish buying. And then we're going to get into that in a second. Our low, 7:05 a.m. Blah, blah, by 7:06, 7:07 a.m. That's 2 minutes. High ended up being pretty much the high of the day. Didn't overcome it again. Tested it. Never could. Kept testing the news candle. I mean, we're going to call it news, but I think that there was something else happening here. Let's jump over into the oil chart and I'll show you why. And I'll even pull up the tweet proofs. Okay, all the way back. Obvious. Remember, I said that we couldn't hold that Friday low and we gapped down. While that happened, was what I thought was the Friday low. Friday, 3:30 p.m. There's that oil rejection at 4:40 p.m. The market bounced pretty good from there. Even though oil was still climbing higher, the market did okay. That Friday low. Up, everybody up. And that should have actually been a little bit of a signal, I think. So the NQ bounced at 3:30 p.m. Friday. Oil didn't reject until 3:40 p.m., but then it recovered and actually made a new high by New York close. And I think that was a little bit of a hint about the giant gap down, which was on escalations with Iran over the weekend. So we're down and we're testing the support, testing under the support. This is dangerous. This is danger zone. for potentially much more selling. And this is on a Monday morning, keep in mind. It's going to set the tone. We open with a 1% gap down day on Monday. That's not going to look good after the Friday that we had, which is already a 2% sell-off day. Over here, 7:05 a.m., Trump says some bullshit. And you know what? Oil, which was sitting at a pretty big high, 86.60, fell. Oh, I don't have my, let me turn on my overnights on this oil chart. Actually see it. There it is. Okay. There. So Friday, rejection, but recovered. By Sunday night, we're up here. So we're closing Friday around 85. Up at 86. Oil gapped up $1 overnight, over the weekend. The data is not here. Difficult to see. 1 minute. Exactly happened at 7:05 a.m. But oil dumped. See it a little bit here in the New York session. I don't know why it isn't reflected, but I remember oil dumped way down. Just like this was a, what's the percentage move that we had over here? That's a 3%, 3.5% move in the NASDAQ. We had a similar move in oil. And why we're not seeing it here is this oil chart really gets kicking about 9:30 a.m. on Friday. That's about. So oil missed a lot. This chart does not show a lot of the business that happened in this gap here, this gap up. Flat out. That's 24,000 to almost 25,000, guys. That was a move that I have never seen before. And here for the big reveal. Let's see if you guys can see this profile. It. Along with some other bullshit. Where? Well, you know what? Go straight to the source. Usual Whales posted this on Tuesday. So let's see when we check it out. Okay. March 26th was still Friday. They do a lot of posting, don't they? Fifth. There it is from the 23rd. March 23rd, which is Monday, 2:16 p.m. Unusual Whales posts just 5 minutes before Trump's announcement to halt the attacks on Iran. Massive trades reportedly hit the market. In one move, $1.5 billion was bought on the S&P. This is the NASDAQ, but it's the same fucking thing. It was bought 7 a.m. I see nothing indicating this on the chart, by the way. There's nothing telling me here that $1.5 billion is getting traded on this candle. That's not reflected until these volume candles 5 minutes later. So let's see. Also, $192 million in oil futures, where we are right here, were sold. These orders were 4 to 6% larger than anything else at the time. Do you think we got a 4 to 6% larger move than anything else we've seen on that flat ass market? Yeah, I'd say so. A nearly 1,000-point move on the NQ after having 5 days of flat. That would normally be kind of bullish. I would think. Made me a little bit bullish for Monday. And here was my mistake. All right. Another interesting thing happened here on the VIX. Let's check out the VIX. 1 minute looks insane, but we can probably see what happened on Monday. What's all that? Yeah. Here we go. Monday, 7 a.m. The VIX was near highs at 31. That tweet sent it down 34%. And this is a 30-minute chart, but I just want to point out that it then recovered. So what was, again, a very bullish situation, the VIX going down 34% in 30 minutes, that's insanely good news for the market. This just got crushed. You want to see it? I want to see it. Just see what happens. Here it is. In the 1 minute. So the whole point that I'm showing you these 1 minute charts, I trade off the 1 minute charts, but the 1 minute charts are not sufficient to really react. All right, 7:03, 7:04, 7:05 in the AM, which is when the tweet came out. Boom. In 1 minute, 34.5%. We'll call it 34% down in a minute. Back down to 20? Are you fucking kidding me? VIX at 20 after 30. 30 to 20. 30% move. That is obviously massive for the market. Cannot underplay how big a move that was. So big, in fact, that it set the tone for the rest of the week, but not the way that I thought it was. Okay, here's our prior test. Friday, bounced it. Sunday, we broke it. Monday, tweet, right back up into the range. We're back in the flat market, guys. Here we were Monday, Wednesday, down, up into the range. Now, are we going to repeat the same pattern that we've had for the past 3 weeks? I certainly didn't think so. I thought that'd be way too obvious. I thought we finally got the tweet that the market had been waiting for. The bottom that we formed Friday got tested and broken Sunday. Back up, way up into the range. We got to be breaking above the range now, right? Well, what does it look like to y'all? Looks like to me we never broke the fucking range that Trump set off in the first tweet of the week. Everything else was selling from then on. That is aggravating. What's even more aggravating is that all of these days that sold off, this is the 30-minute chart, I want to point out, every single one of these days bounced at the end of the day, overnight sold. Tried to recover in the day, did not, but bounced at the end of the day, all the way above the high of the day. What do you think happened there? What happened on March 26th at 4 p.m.? Some asshole put out a tweet that moved the fucking markets. Did it happen at 4:15 p.m. after prop firms are closed and certainly after all options markets are closed? That would be another peace-ish tweet from Trump that got tested and never bested. Tested, not bested. All right, I'm going to write that one down. We're going to be creating some truisms here. We got to keep track of these. Bested, not bested. That's a keeper, because that's exactly the theme of the market right now, and we can use this to our advantage moving ahead. Now, unusual whales. I don't know if they had any more commentary about this particular trade that happened here, also in a 1 minute candle at 4. All right, let's get into it. You know what happened in the week? Let's just get into it. 4:15. That? What is this very linear move seeing after the close? Again, after the close. That happened at 4:19 p.m. Nobody's trading here except for banks and institutions and insane futures traders that have not closed up shop for the day. I certainly don't try to hold trades that long unless I'm on a prop firm. Prop firms close out between 4:10 and 4:15 every single day. You can't fight it. It's automatic. All positions would have been closed on Top Step. That's the one that I can trade the latest on, I believe. Maybe Apex lets you go all the way to 459, but either way, nobody's capitalizing on this move, which was, by the way, a 1.33% move. I mean, this one probably took 10 minutes, but it was, I think, several good positive tweets in a row. I think maybe even Netanyahu was tweeting. None of this, again, tested, not bested in the overnight. We chopped flat. I think the overnight was still digesting. Flat to down overnight. Tested twice in the overnight, and again Monday morning. Sorry, this is Wednesday morning. This is our theme. Wednesday tries to make a new high. It really tried. It double topped, triple topped, if you even count this giant push up, which I longed here from the bottom. This is a DD band bounce. This is the Rocket Scooter DD band. The 24 threes. I took that, bounced it all the way up, but then we sold down. We recovered it. I took it again, bounced it up. We couldn't make any new highs. These are all lower highs. Couldn't test it and best it. Down for the rest. And with a slightly higher high, might have even been a news candle. I think I actually made about $800 off of that on my Lucid account, which I then, as we just dumped for no reason. How do we break out of this range? Briefly, false breakout, I guess you would consider that one. Now, let's just see what happened here on Tuesday on the VIX. Go back to like the 5-minute on the VIX. See what's happening. Friday the 7th. There, gap down on the VIX. That happened on Tuesday at the end. Day. Oh, sorry, that's the overnight from Tuesday to Wednesday. A gap down on the VIX helped us pump up to test the highs, not break them. Rest of the day we fell. Rest of the day VIX actually fell too. This is all day Wednesday. I'm not seeing advancement of the VIX. It never even filled the gap. It again tested and failed, which is why we went up for most of the day, but the VIX failed to make a new high and the market failed to make a new high by close. That's peculiar. That's about. Now, overnights were brutal. We rejected off of multiple attempts at MHP. I believe this is Wednesday night into Thursday overnight. Brutally bad. This is bad news happening. The world is exploding. This is not looking good. Now, we opened Thursday on the DD band. And this is what fucked me here. Let's go look at Thursday. Trying to find the bottom. I was very excited for the bottom that was going to come. I had a feeling because VIX was making new highs on Thursday, but rejecting them. Look, the VIX was having a party. Uptrend on VIX, but every time it would make a new high, it would dump. It would make a new high and dump. It would make a new high and dump. Look, even Thursday at 8 a.m. made a new high and then dumped a little bit. Made another new high at 8:30, dumped a little bit. A news candle, I presume, brought it up here at 9:40, but then it dumped. But watch this. You can see how the cursor, this is pre-market. We pump at the open. Pumping. Chopping on an EMA as the VIX is bottoming. This was the low of the day on the VIX and the high of the day right there. This high of day territory on the NQ. I thought this big rejection off 27, 28, where we had rejected Friday, is the previous Friday. I forgot to account the whole gap up that had happened overnight, Sunday to Monday. But I thought we rejected from up here Friday. We're going to reject here again on Thursday, right? Well, clearly I was not looking far enough left because we needed to go all the way up to test 30 first. So I tried to catch this bottom, this candle here. Profit. Wrecked for the rest of the day. That was on stream. You saw it. That's where I lost those two top step XFAs. They didn't have too much in them. Let's just look. Okay. No XFAs. Two combines in process. Here's Thursday, blown out. Wish they gave me the calendar view. That's the thing that I don't love. Well, here we are on the 25th, which was Tuesday the 24th, Wednesday the 25th. Hit a high on Wednesday of 1869.46. Trading Friday, nothing but problems, ended up blown. So we're going to go negative 1869. Which is, like a $900 payout. I'm going to call it 920. And it was not ready for payout. I recall I had a very good day, and I needed, for consistency's sake, to make more. But we'll just count it as a payout lost. Nothing lost on my funded futures this week except for a couple of including one free one, which I really appreciated winning that from Stephen Kalajian's stream on I think that was on Tuesday night. Probably Wednesday night, actually, because that was part of the Thursday carnage. Sorry, Stephen. And I have no current evals going on my funded futures. Maybe I'll pick up one Monday morning, just so I can have one represented there, because they are my favorite firm to trade with. And then the other one was the Lucid 25K. Oh wait, no, there's one more top step. What am I thinking? Only one of them. Okay. Other top step. This one didn't get quite as high, but again, my Wednesday high at 1342.50. Or blowing on Thursday. Which, if I was taking a payout, again, it was not ready for a payout. Would be, 650, 70. So not a whole lot of payout loss. That's a $1,500 payouts that I've lost. Oh, and then I might lose 25K. Funded. Let's go see what happened over in Lucid. But actually, the thing that I really wanted to show you, on Thursday, one of these bad doggers was up 2K. I don't know if that will show me. I had blown one. Probably this one. Show me what the highest high. Okay, 2,561. Highest we got here. So we put in 1,000 on this one on Thursday before the carnage began. Yeah, we put in about 1,200 on Thursday, then blew it. We were up to 2,500. High on this one. Oh no, that was the bigger one. 2,500 to 0. Blown. This one was only 15 0. But tough. It was a tough week on Top Step. And we went on to blow several more evals after Thursday. Thursday, practice account got a reset. That was good. This is now Friday, trying to recover what was lost Thursday. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 evals. 2 far enough. 2 out of 5 is not a great win rate. That's a 40% win rate evals on Friday. So Friday, talk about it. While I pull up Lucid, we can look over it. Talk about Friday. Now, again, Thursday, big news in the evening, pumped us up. Overnight, Friday, tested. This is, again, remember these 2 yellow lines? Support resistance. Should have been first hint that we were never going to get above this fucking level all day at 20K. Nonetheless, bottom fishing all day long. Friday, blew a couple of Lucids along the way. I remember I had to reset these bad boys like 3 times yesterday. Let's even see. Blue 250s. That were almost this week. So we got 2 that were close to target on the second day got blown. And show me the breached. Okay, just those 2. Love to see. Well, in any event, couple of resets were had on Friday. We'll just leave it at that for the 25K and for the 50K. We'll call that 3. So we're gonna call that. That was 3 and 6. So again, 6 evals blown this week. Oh, but plus 2 for futures, one of which was free. So we're gonna call that was a 150. Oh, plus some TPTs. So it's a rougher week even than the week before I'm seeing right now. Even though we only blew 3 funded accounts and we only lost about 1,600 in potential payouts. They weren't even there yet, so it's not actual money. None of this is actual money. We're just paper. The evals blown this week are really going to start adding up. We had 2 TPTs, so that's going to be 200. And we had the resets at Lucid, which were 85, which is 170, plus a 25, which is 60, which is going to be another $500. Oh, plus the 3. So 9 times 3 is going to be 327. $800. Expensive week. And evals lost. That's not even including the free one from my funded futures. Tough week. Tough week trying to come back. Oh, I did have a Lucid that I blew this week. Does that show up? Doesn't want to show me my old breached funded accounts, but I know that it was day 3 of the 25K. Goes up 1,300. Again, not at payout yet, but we're just gonna call it 1,560. No payout loss there because it was on day 3. Okay, tested but not bested was the theme, and I should have really seen that. Knowing if that was the theme on Thursday night, I might not have tried to long and tried to find this bottom on Friday. This is where all this damage happened. On Thursday and Friday, trying to find a bottom. Same problem I had the previous Friday. Clearly, I'm not great at identifying bottoms. I think I'm going to stop trying. And that would be my biggest takeaway here. Because here's what went down. I'm even going to expand this. We don't. Here's what went down. All right, I'll try to shimmy over while we're looking over here. Okay, Friday by the 1 minute. Not even all day. Never even overnight crossed it. After the sell off the SR flip, crossed VWAP, and we never got above it. Rode the 200 all the way down. Now, what the fuck happened on VIX on Friday? I don't know. Some bad shit happened on the VIX on Friday. Long in the market. And I can show you several times I thought we had found the bottom. In fact. Okay. This is at the open Friday. Looks like VIX is rejecting pretty hard here. But so market mark? The first few minutes of the day. VIX expected, bounced, gave us our one to one here. No, the VIX is funny on the. Okay, Friday at the brief pop up on the 36, start a sell off. Pretty good sell off, made new lows. You can see it broke the over. Friday. So we're down here below Friday's low. And we're testing the 200. We don't see this at the time. This is a lagging indicator. Better after the fact. But after making a new low, the false breakdown on the VIX is what that looks like. We start to pump and even gap up. VIX market falling during that time. So from 9:49 a.m. testing the 2 fell. Actually, would almost a whole percent. That's 200 points. That's a 200-point fall, and we did it in 10 minutes. That's a tough drawdown. I think I probably got caught in that. It's probably where a lot of those evals were getting chewed up. Because then we bottomed. VIX put in a little bit of a higher high. This is over the overnights. Lower low, higher high. That's some bullshit. VIX is faking us out. You should really be watching this VIX, not cooperating here. VIX chopping, market chopping slightly down. Get a little sign of relief here with positive volume. Look at the volume that came in here. Volume candles are telling me that like maybe we're out of it here. Again, VIX rejected, volume comes in. I think these were hopeful bulls like I was. The VIX crushed slowly all the way till it got below the low. This is at 11:27 a.m. 11:27 a.m. Oh, here's our positive pump. Look at that. Again, volume comes in on the 1 minute. Boom, big candle up. Let's just see the one candle. Yeah, that's almost a 100-point candle. That's a good candle. And what looks like VIX topping again doesn't totally make sense because VIX had not made a higher high. Odd. When VIX went down almost 1% here, the market chopped. Correlation was not quite built in here. 1% crush, market's down to flat. That is not normal behavior. VIX makes that new low, however, bounces. New low, bounced. Chop, chop, chop. New low, bounced, and that was actually the low of the double false breakdown. Now, was that the high of the day over here on the market? Kinda. Didn't best our open, which is a little odd considering VIX was much higher. VIX is at 30.32 at the open, and here at the bottom it's at 28.71. Normally, when VIX crushes 3%, you can think the market can be like up 1%. 5.2%. The market should have been big ups here during that crush period, even with the bounce. This is a dramatic sell-off, but we should have at least recovered from there. I remember this was the DD band again, bouncing off DD until the VIX just changed its mind at 11:30 a.m. Put in this little top candle here. Yikes! Not even too much volume. None of this was selling on high volume. This is not panic selling. This is totally orderly selling. VIX dumped a little bit here, covered, only to sell more and harder. Now this is when the volume comes in. This had to be the candle. Here, let's see. 1:07 p.m. VIX gapped down and recovered. 1:07 p.m. Market again is in 2 minutes. 2 bars. We've got another 85 points. But again, did not get follow through. This is tested but not bested. We didn't break even like a remotely new high off of that huge volume. That wasn't going to do it. That's almost the same volume that came in over here that also did not break a new high. It led to a high-ish high, but it was not higher than the open. More volume than the open on that. Still couldn't get us up there. Huge burst of volume in lunch hour. All it did was just give us fuel to the fire to sell. Sold from this high at 23,520s all the way back down 380s. Stop there. VIX, it didn't stop there. It chopped a little bit. We're chopping flat. It seems like bottoming action on the market. Even a nice little bottom wick here. I think I bought this here and then proceeded to get wrecked because look at this VIX candle right. This is where news starts popping off in the afternoon. We start getting headlines. VIX goes up 1.3% in 1 minute. 1.3% in 1 minute on VIX. Market goes down. Honestly, not even that hard. We'd already fallen a good bit. I was only down 0.2% on the market. I think we could have dumped way harder off of that. And look at this. Market, huge volume comes in to try and save the market. Pushes up to 23,400. But a huge top wick comes. I remember watching this, and I'm watching the VIX, and the top wick is forming like this is a giant rejection. We didn't even test anything up here. We didn't test this level. We didn't test that level. We broke above. This is just outright fucking rejection. This is where we thought we had found the bottom in the VIX earlier in the day. We thought we'd found the top in the VIX on. This is on news. We're like, surely this is where the rejection happens on VIX. And we start to build a little bit. It does reject a little bit, but then no, back up it goes. So chop a little bit, rejects a little bit, chops a little bit. This is our last action on the VIX of the day. We're now here into like big rejection happens at 3:20 p.m. VIX is flat. VIX is fucking flat. Going from 31 to fucking 31 evens to 31.66 after a 5% move down didn't do anything in the market. We have a 2% move up from 30 to 31 and a half. Gives us what ended up being, go from this high right here, 0.5% down in the market. That's 134 points. That doesn't totally make sense to me. 2% moves shouldn't be moving the market that much. Look, this is a 2% move right here. About a 2% move right here. Move the market like hardly at all. Baby moves compared to that. Good God. 2% moves are not all built the same, and this is the reason why, because this is where the rest of the story is. This is from 350. All right, this is 345. Get a good crush all the way into 4 p.m. even. There's a little bit of a late day pump here in the market. I took some of this in some evals. That's how I've got some evals to play with this week. They're half finished. Couple lucids, couple top steps. Pump here. This is at 3:52 p.m. This is good news coming out. We're hearing oil news here. VIX kind of stays flat. VIX at 355 gets a good long crush. Then at 4 p.m., 359 even, bottoms, dump the whole way back down. Could not test. Oh, we tested, but could not best that high right there at 4 p.m. Pump was faded, totally faded. Now, let's see what happened on oil at the end of the day, Friday, because that is really the story here. Oh, oil. That's not oil. That's Colgate. Colgate sucks. Oil. Back over 100 over the weekend. The market knew this was a bullshit pump and that this was a bullshit pump. Couldn't break the highs. Couldn't even really test the highs. Every time we went up, we got sold off because oil crashed like multiple times in the day. It just wouldn't stay crashed. We ended up with a trend day on oil, like big surprise. We got bad news coming out of the Middle East. 11:45 a.m. What's happening in the market? 11:45. Friday, 11:45. Oh, it's our high. Oh, this is where all those opportunistic bulls got suckered in off of this really cool bouncing. This is an inverse head and shoulders. You know I love these. And it played out, but it couldn't hold. It couldn't test and best the high at this exact moment. Off of these, look at this. This is topping pattern in oil. I remember talking about this sort of like topish on 98. We're not going to hit 100. We're going 98 and crush. Boom, down to 96 and then, 97, let's call it. Oil starts to recover. Chopping. Oil recovers more. We're over 97. Market's on the downslide. Or oil's at 98. Surely we'll test this 98.50s, 98.30s, and we'll reject. Uh-oh, oil's made a new high. The market's made a new low. New-ish low. Interestingly, this wick right here was when these highs, this is a double top. That's why I took that long. That's why I was excited. That was an opportunistic bull. Oil didn't crash. It kind of double bottomed itself. We got a cluster of tops as the ascent began and as our descent began. Oil from 1139 goes up all the way until 3:45 p.m. 3.6%, which is the same thing as going from 97 to 100.5. That $100 psychological level, I was trying to find that as our bottom. Maybe we'd bounce off 100. It seems totally reasonable that on oil, we hit that psychological $100 a barrel oil level, and boom, sell off. Boom, go long. We're selling off 100. We hit 100. That was a psychological, but wait. We only got down to 98.79. The market was flat. The market's not doing anything. It gave us a little pump here, but it wicked. We get a long tail wick, we get a top wick, and we never tested or bested that high through power hour. Power hour was sour hour because here oil is just bumping up. And just in power hour, it ended up 1.76% from 98.82 to 156. Ugh, gross. And let's see what happened when oil double topped finally. It took the market a little while to really believe it because we're double topping over 100. It wasn't until we broke below 100 again that we got the pump. So here's our 100 test, dumped down to 99.50, and that gave, again, these opportunistic bulls where I was, didn't take any bear plays. 89 point bar there in the 1 minute at 3:57 p.m. off this little rejection here. But look at this. This is after 4 p.m. Oil recovered and made new highs. Market dumped further, made new lows in the aftermarket. Now, where have we seen this before? Was it just the fucking last Friday? Is this the same thing again? Are we having deja vu all over again? Now, you know what? I'll even mark this noteworthy because we sold off here on this Friday, bounced it, but we opened up Sunday lower and lower and lower until we made a really big low. Let's see what this low. Oh, it was the high. And pivot. We tested it again Thursday. It was the low Thursday where we bounced from. This is where lines are kind of cool, and where we sold from in the pre-market on Friday. So pretty much not exactly the high a day, but when we lost both levels, that was all she wrote. I'm going to do one more, and I'm going to put this here. Let's label these. So Friday 27 sell-off bottom, because that was a ginormous sell-off here in the 30-minute. One for Sun. Okay, now we were gonna guess what happened last time we broke the sell-off support, made a new low. We hadn't tested in quite some time. We're breaking below the range. We hadn't been back. We hadn't been at this level since September of 25. Ouch. Bounced though. Trump saved us. 895 point candle saved us back to the range, only to fucking sell off all week. So if we had to guess maybe what might happen, gonna make new lows on Sunday. It's doable. A lot of it's gonna depend on this oil. We're at 101.20s right now, but it did double top right before it closed on Friday night. I guess we'll find out on Sunday, won't we? But I don't know that the bottom is in. I searched really hard for the bottom all week long. I wanted this VIX to just finally reject 30, reject anything. It has 31.65, the high of the day, coming in at 3:46 p.m. VIX high of the day at 3:46 p.m. Is it possible? Check out this volume. 3:59 p.m. Closing. I see no indication on the chart that the VIX is topped. There's like maybe that bottom wick could have been it at 352, but like this is not noteworthy. I get no signal from this. The VIX is not done, y'all. Not done on the 1 minute. It's not done 2 minute. Like you could maybe argue this higher high off of the 31.65 was the double top. I don't know. You know what? I'll put a line in there. Call it the 27 sell-off bottom. We'll find out. If we break this level whatsoever Sunday night, which I think we will, we're going to find new lows. And this low plus the new low will be the range for the week until we did. Made a new low. Double bottomed off of it. Trump bounced us. Chop sideways until we dump. Thursday, lost all my money. Friday, lost all my evals. The pattern holds up. We're going to gap up Monday. Get a higher high Tuesday, and then Wednesday in the pre-market we'll test that higher high. Maybe break it, maybe not, but then we'll just sell from Wednesday to Thursday to Friday. Do it all over. Oil will be at 100 by the end of next week. Well, we'll see. We're going to find out maybe tomorrow on our preparation for, call it the prep stream. We'll think of a better name for that. One last look at our accountability of the week. Tough week losses. Better. Let's just end on the feelings that we felt, and they are the same. We're down here. Two. What happens with these? This is our lineup for the week ahead. Might add a my funded. I did win an account from Funded Futures Family, which I didn't show you guys much of last week, which I guess I could put on here. It's kind of its own. I treat, you know what? I probably shouldn't, but I've been treating that separately. We got +1 FF, which I've got 50% done, and then I've got another one that I just won, so we'll call it +2. So that was a big win. Really needed that. Two. Okay, so we got a decent lineup of, this is what we're working with this week. Okay. Now, was I greedy last week? Not really. This Thursday faked me out. I thought we were breaking above. Felt really positive. You even see where I have a trend line here. This was a DD band test and bounce, and I just got faked out by these fake moves, not seeing that the pivot was failing. So I would say I didn't have good vision. I was probably impatient again, reckless again. Actually, I used stop losses this week, so I wouldn't say that I was that reckless. Was not a great loser this week. I lost more. I probably was not a very good loser, but this was I was gullible this week, I think. gullible because I got faked out a lot. Was I impatient? No, I picked my pivots well. I longed here, took profit, was up, saw the other opportunity, longed again, and then got erased. I fought this whole chop, and this is during lunch, fighting this chop until I just got wrecked for the rest of the day. I could have broken even here. I think I did actually take a stop loss here and tried to go long immediately again as I saw a bottom wick forming as the new low was broken. I thought, oh, okay, this was a liquidity sweep. I'm going to go long again. A little bit of profit. Nope, it's gone. It's gone in 5 minutes, maybe 8 minutes there. And then we're chopping. This is no trade, no trade, no trade. But then here at the end of the day, we're selling, 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 selling. And I'm trying to find the bottom because that's what I want to do. I'm really eager to find the bottom here on VIX. There's our Thursday. I'm thinking I'm finding the bottom. In fact, it was, sorry, I meant the top of VIX. Look, VIX topped right here, 1:58 p.m. Market did nothing. Gave me nothing. Look at that again. The Thursday crush on the VIX that just didn't produce. The whole thing was a fugazi the whole time. We got a 3.65% crush on the VIX and we got nothing in the market. That was a very frustrating trading day. Clearly, I got faked out by the VIX. I'm gonna even put this in here. Faked out by the VIX. A little bit gullible. I was trusting the VIX too much. Let's just triple check. I wonder if while the VIX was not giving good signals, we're talking about Thursday about, like let's say 1:30 p.m. What's oil doing, I wonder? Those are the two things that I'm watching. 1:30 p.m. Oil actually trying to push to a new high. Oil is pushing this whole time. We're thinking that we've failed here off the 95-ish area, sold down, tested 95 again, and sold down a second time. This is a test. Sorry, this is a fail, test, retest, and fail. Failed to make another high here, still failing 95. This feels good to me. This feels like good for longs. We got a little bit of downtrend forming here. I believed it, but the market didn't. I'm watching this right side of the chart for signals, but I'm not really seeing the signals come across to the left chart. And I think this is our learning experience from this. Not get faked out. We need double the signals. You can't just say, oh, hey, VIX down, oil market's going up for sure. But that did not happen. Market didn't believe it. In fact, market's saying, no, oil pump is coming because watch this. We're not even going to get above our EMAs. We're going to start selling, selling, selling. Oil made a new high. Oh, God. Oil made another high. Oh, God. Selling, selling, selling. Oop, oil made a high and is selling off. We get a little tiny baby pump in the market. I might have even profited off this 50 points, 3 minutes. Oil, it was done for the day. That's Thursday's high. But the market kept selling. Oil, Thursday high. This is 2 p.m. on Thursday. What happened at 2 p.m. Thursday on the VIX? Did the VIX, I wonder, did it take over Thursday at 2 p.m.? Did it sort of like get the handoff from oil to then start pumping? No, the VIX topped also. Oil topped, VIX topped. All the way until 206. That was there's our 50 point pump. Made a little bit of a lower high. Crushing. Oil's falling. VIX falling. Even from this level right here, I'm not even counting from our pump. VIX down. Again, a 3%-ish move in the VIX. It's producing nothing in the market. No signal. No confirmation at least. We're not breaking even that high of the pump. VIX fell substantially, but it is not paying off in the market. Again, that 2 p.m. Thursday, high of the day on the VIX, nowhere near low of the day or the bottom here. That makes no sense. Thursday, it felt, honestly, I remember especially trying to find this bottom here off of the bottom pivot. Oh, no, don't move that. That's the pivot I'm talking about. I remember thinking like, oh, it's coming. It's finally here. It's finally the bottom. Finally the bottom. But nope. It wasn't until the tweet at 4:11 p.m. after I was done trading. I didn't even get to access that. I knew the bottom was coming. I didn't take, one DTE calls. I certainly don't have a futures account that I can hold through this kind of downtrend volatility, breaking pivots, only to get saved after. I can't handle that. VIX gap down on that. In fact, I thought, okay, fine. Monday, news candle pushed us up all the way back. Let's look at the data. Monday, tested new lows. News candle brought us back. Thursday, tested the same, made new lows. News candle brought us back. I would have thought that's every reason to be bullish Friday. VIX topped, double topped even. Oil topped in the afternoon, but the market didn't believe us. The market didn't believe what it was. They freaked out by the VIX plus. I did not have good signals from those on Thursday. And then Friday, that was the day we couldn't even get past the open. But on Friday on the VIX. Started at the low. That was got a. Oh, this is all overnight. Sorry, we bounced overnight. Market dumped. Then on. That was the high of the day. 7 level. No. Okay, so VIX gave us a bouncy bounce. It was the high of the day from Friday. But this double top at 2:15 a.m. Definitely was not trading that. I was asleep. But that was the low of the day on the VIX. And VIX gave us so many false signals. In reality, it never made another. It seemed like it was dumping from the double top here at the open. We all got excited at the open to go long again. Thought Thursday's tweet would have. Friday's open. VIX double topped. So VIX crushed right into the open. 934 to 9 to about 10, crushing. Getting suckered in on this. Did not make a higher high. VIX did. That was all she wrote for the rest of the day. We actually, again, we crushed, well, I would guess, what, 3% crush on the VIX? 5.4% crush on the VIX between 10 a.m. and 11:30. That not enough. We didn't break a new high, even though VIX made kind of a new low. Not of the day, but at least we could break the range. VIX is not giving us the signals. I think there's something about it being this elevated, plus oil being this elevated. This was the other low that it was potential SR flip, but it held. Former resistance at 28.85. Remember we were rejecting there. This day, was this Friday? Yep. 28's rejected, right? That was our SR flip from the past Friday. We're just testing this. About on Sunday night. This is Sunday night, Monday morning at 3 a.m. I was not paying attention to that. All right, we gotta watch the VIX after hours. And then we're gonna say regular trading hours, and our conclusion is gonna be wait for confirmation, I guess, of a new high. I don't know. Also, you extended trading. And I can see that VIX issue that happened that Sunday night. Nonetheless, VIX pumped all the way until 3:30 p.m. Friday. Made a new high. 31.62. New high for the week. New high for everything. Meanwhile, even though we sold on the VIX from that new high, VIX loves to make a higher high, slightly higher high, and then sell. Quick 3% down in 6 minutes So it's 12 minutes on the 2-minute. 12 minutes on VIX. The market got almost no love. None at all. A quick 50 points, but that is no love after the kind of day that it had. Could have been, indicative of a squeeze up at the end of the day. Is 71 points, but again, could not test and best this level. We just sold down from level to level to level to level all day and tonight, finishing at new lows. Even though the VIX did not make a new high overnight on Friday, new lows. None of this is super optimistic for tomorrow. One more look at our old friend Bitcoin. It's the only thing that I know of that's really trading at this time. This is on the 2-minute. This was Friday. It dumped all day. This is in the pre-market. 9:30-ish high. Could never break it. We're breaking Friday's highs on Bitcoin. Not holding the gap down. This gap down starting at 6 a.m.-ish on Friday. It's around the time that the market made a high. This could have been an indicator for Friday as well. I'm going to say bad bottom finder. Let's say we need to trade smaller size. And we're going to use this as an opportunity to make a new truism, which is when bottom fishing, use small. This is going to be our takeaway. I was trying to find a bottom all week long, knowing that we just sold off every Wednesday prior. Was that the bottom? Nope. Was that the bottom? Nope. That the bottom? Nope. Is this the bottom? Nope. No bottoms here. Oh, maybe Thursday after hours because of Trump. Nope. Sold it all the way off. Could never get above the news candle. Here's another theme I'm seeing. We get a giant news candle up. That's the fucking high. We're selling off from there. We're not going to be breaking above that high. And per our unusual whales crack reporting, we know that people are getting long and short in oil futures and S&P futures for a second. They're not going to hold that for the rest of the day. They're going to take their gains and go, and they're going to wreck the rest of the market for the rest of the fucking week. That's how they do that. So, and I was exit liquidity for crime. I don't want to be exit liquidity for crime. I want to be on the side of crime. I'm going to long and short when they do, but I don't know when that's going to fucking be. There's no way to know that. And there's no way to benefit from that. All you can do is lose. I could maybe take the next Trump tweet and short the high, but there's no telling exactly when that high is going to happen. You can see over here, Thursday, it made a double top. It wasn't super shortable. Double top. Or it went down for the rest of the night. It's tricky. It tested that high immediately once, then overnight twice, third time, fourth time it opened, fifth time couldn't break that Trump candle high, which incidentally was also the high from the previous day, like mid, and the overnight. Couldn't break it through the resistance. It tried so many times. It faked me out so many times, but I never got confirmation. This week, we're going to try to wait for some confirmation of new highs. We're going to watch Bitcoin in the pre-market to see if that gives us a hint about where liquidity is heading, because it seemed like it's heading fucking down. We are going to watch the overnights on VIX and on oil futures. We're going to see if there's fakery and fuckery happening overnights, because that could give us a hint about what's coming in the daytime. Tend to hit the high in the pre-market, high Friday in the pre-market, the high Thursday in the pre-market, hit the high Wednesday in the pre-market, hit the high Tuesday in the pre-market. Monday was our only up day, and it was off of a best. Tested and retested, did not best. So, I think if we've learned anything, ladies and gentlemen, don't be exit liquidity for crime. Wait until you have real confirmation that a bottom has formed from your bottoming indicators like VIX and like oil. Wait for their confirmation, I guess, to not just make a new low, but to really sell off with volume, because they did make new lows. The market didn't listen, though. So I guess, and then the other takeaway is when the market and the indicators are not lining up and it seems like there's something weird afoot, it's because there is. It's fucking crime. So let's not be exit liquidity for crime this week. Crime's not stopping. I'm not stopping. Let's try to not lose this week. I would love to get a payout at the end of next week. Let's count on that. It's going to happen. We're putting it out in the universe. And that's going to do it for me today, for Saturday, March 28th. Hope you guys enjoy the rest of your Saturday, and I'll see you tomorrow for a market prep. Maybe even for the Sunday Open. Although the overnight trades have been better. We'll see if anything changes this week. Hopefully profits. But, we're going to do our best. That's all we can do. Everybody have a good day. See you later.